and the same way we value the other sexes. This is not an act that was committed against a particular child, but several people by the same person. So you wonder how he was able to do it at the blind side of the school authorities, and how the system has worked to ensure that children do not become vulnerable to teachers and other people participating in the school environment.
He added that children must be empowered to recognize unacceptable social behavior from teachers and superiors alike and report same.
Ghana Education Service would pay attention to teachers and their behavior towards children, and then the relationship that they build, not the one that would make the child vulnerable. And then you are building trust, and children will know that when they go through issues or when people take advantage of them, they'll have confidence to report to the system and all that. And those are the things that we have to do. We cannot just get rid of these people, but we have to build the confidence of our children to recognize these people, and then also in the event where it happens, we can put them in our social safety net.
The rate at which the state has responded to this sodomy case of 19 boys at Salaga in the Savannah region is less than satisfactory. But with a gender ministry whose budgetary allocation is less than 1% of Ghana's GDP, not much can be expected. Civil society, however, have committed to supporting the boys, the victims in this case, with medical and legal fees. Meanwhile, reports coming in say the culprit has been arrested and will be arraigned before court on a later date. Nancy Vokania for TV3 News, Accra.
We're staying on this subject a while longer because the Chief Executive Officer of Esong Taba, Hajia Lamnatu Adam, has called for the resourcing of a domestic violence and victim support unit of a Ghana Police Service. Hajia Lamnatu Adam was reacting to the alleged sodomization of some 19 pupils at the Kulupi Junior High School in the East Gonja municipality.
Salaga district is about 16 kilometers or more to the communities in which this has happened. And so if the parents who are already suffering and the children who are suffering the trauma of all of this have to travel not just to Salaga but to the Tamil Teaching Hospital, it's quite a cost to bear. And as you are already hearing from them, they are unable to. And so the question is, what would government do around it? Because this is a sure case for the government to bear. We are quick to pretend as a country, quick to pretend about morality, and to pretend that children do not need to know about what's happening within their bodies. And I think that's where we are failing. We are not doing much around sexuality education.
Let's do some other stories this afternoon. And the planned demolition and eviction of Liberian refugees from the Bujuburam camp in the Goma East district of the Central Region is yet to take off, even though demolition notice served by the District Assembly has long elapsed. Our reporter Stanley Niblo reports some Liberians at the Bujuburam refugee camp have begun packing out of the place, although they have nowhere to lay their heads.
The Goma East District Assembly said it has given notice to the residents to vacate the camp for a demolition exercise on September 30. The demolition of the camp, according to the Assembly, is to pave way for developmental projects such as 1D1F and affordable housing. According to information from the Ghana Refugee Board, the camp still have some 350 Liberian refugees living there. As at 5:30 a.m. Thursday, 30th September, when a news team arrived at the camp, some persons have started packing out of the camp.
Yeah, I will just be on the camp. I sit back and just watch. To be frank, we have not been treated as a human. The treatment for Liberian, to be frank with you, have been very, very, very inhumane. So if UNHCR, Ghana Refugee Board, and that of the government, if they want to break the camp, we don't have power. But let it do the settlement of the Liberian for the time.
We have nowhere to go. This is our home since 1931 years. You are offering somebody 31 years, 1 month, 2 weeks to leave. And it is the government that brought us here. We didn't come here on our own. So if the government wants us to get out, let them come and find a place to carry on. We are not fighting for the land. No, it is not our issue. Our issues that take off where we will go and be safe.
The Bujumbura camp for over 2 decades served as home for Liberian refugees as well as some Ivorians. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in June 2010 decommissioned the camp as a refugee camp. In 2012, some of the Liberian refugees in Ghana were repatriated and some opted to locally integrate into the Ghanaian society. There have been some concerns the camp has become a hideout for social deviants, including alleged robbery gangs.
Now, pressure groups Fix the Country and Economic Fighters League are punching holes this afternoon in the 3-member IJRA committee report, which ostensibly found that security operatives were unprofessional in their handling of a violent youth protest, which led to the death of 2 individuals there. The committee recommended removal of a municipal chief executive and the transfer of a district police commander. It also stated that the death of a social activist may have been as a result of a family feud and not because of his social activism. The Fix the Country campaigners and the Economic Fighters League say the committee did a poor job. Let's run by you quickly some of the details of a statement issued by the committee with respect to this particular IJRA report. Now, it says the committee departed from its terms of reference to deal with matters which are still a subject of criminal investigation, and that has to do with the death of a social activist, Kaka. Now, the committee also failed to exercise what they describe as appropriate judicial restraint, instead elected to intentionally prejudice the fair trial rights of Kaka and his family. They go ahead to say the two groups reject the committee or attempts by the committee to associate the threats and the attack and the murder of their fallen comrade Kaka from his work. They insist that his killing may have a link with his social activism. Now, the committee also makes no reasoned recommendations about the legal actions that need to be taken to hold persons criminally liable for the murders. That's the position of the Economic Fighters League and the Fix the Country campaigners. Now, they go ahead to say the report establishes several lapses in police actions, including instances of deliberate perjury and false testimonies, and the committee proposes no substantive punitive measures for all of these individuals who they describe as having, engaged in perjury when they gave false witnesses before the committee. So that's the statements jointly issued and signed by the Fix the Country movement as well as the Economic Fighters League. Let me speak now to John Kumsin Hayes with the Economic Fighters League. Thank you, Kumsin, for joining me here on Midday Live. It's interesting you describe this report as bogus, knowing where we've traveled from up until this point. Why do you think at this point the findings or the recommendations thereof of a committee should be described in that manner? I think you'd have to unmute so we can hear you. I'm afraid I cannot hear you, John Kumsin. We're going to be trying to get him to fix his connection so we can hear him, so we continue this particular conversation. But the two groups, as the Fix the Country movement as well as the Economic Fighters League, have been punching holes, as you know, into the IJRA committee report, which, among other things, recommended the removal of a municipal chief executive, also recommended that the district police commander for IJRA be transferred from the area because of, some lapses in the security arrangements for the area. Let me try one more time and see if John Kumsin can hear me. Yes, John, I was asking a very interesting way to describe this report as bogus. Why?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me now, but
I can hear you.
I believe it. Okay, so the issue is the committee was set up for a specific reason. And that reason was to go into the disturbances that went on in IJRA, that is with respect to the protesters and the police or the army who went in there and fired some guns that resulted in some people dying. So this committee was set up to go and look into that issue. It had absolutely nothing to do with the investigation of the death of Kaka and what the police are doing. So if you come out and then tell us that after all the sitting and listening to all the things that you've said, that have been said, you believe that the death of Kaka, which had absolutely nothing to do with the job that was given to you, may have not necessarily be connected to his activism that is a non-starter in the first place.
Okay.
Secondly, we believe that if the committee really wanted to make recommendations or recommend the removal of the police commander and the municipal chief executive, it should be done after the perpetrators of this particular issue have been dealt with. You see, these people presided over the disturbances that happened in Nigeria, and if we are to just transfer them or let them go from there, it will, at the end of the day, try to undermine the justice that we're looking for. You see, we need those who shot those guns, those who actually shot at the civilians, to be brought to book. And that is what the committee was tasked to do.
Okay.
So if you are not able to identify who shot who and who shot what at what time, and it is not captured in your report is silent on that, I believe that the whole report needs to go back and come again.
Okay. And now, beyond the condemnation and the description of this report as bogus, what are the two groups going to do going forward? Because now we know the report is out, government is yet to implement the recommendations thereof. In fact, they're not bound, but it is up to them to implement the recommendations if they so admit from the committee. So what must happen from now?
Okay, so what we are saying is that for now, they have got the report, we have issued our statement, and then it is now left with government to be able to make a decision on that. We are going to monitor government closely and see if we see that the justice that's supposed to be served is not served. We are going to be drumming it into their ears because we do not intend to do anything that is outside the law or that is not lawful in this country. We love our country. We are a group that understands the fact that this country needs the peace that it is enjoying very, very well. So we are going to use every legal means to ensure that justice for those people is served, and going to pay compensations and other things for families who lost their members and all that is neither here nor there. What we need to do is to give them justice, and we're going to push this government to ensure that those who did who did that particular thing or the perpetrators of those incidents are brought to book.
All right.
That is all that we're going to do.
Okay, thank you very much, John Kumsin there. He's a member of the Economic Fighters League there speaking to us. They, together with the Fix the Country movement, issued that joint statement. Let's take a step away from Ejira and do some more stories now, because the Ministry for Food and Agriculture has backtracked on an earlier announcement of a ban on the export of grains and cereals as a measure to check commodity price hikes and prevent a food crisis. Sector Minister Dr. Owusu Efriakoto, during an interaction with journalists, denied a ban was in place. This is in sharp contrast to what the Deputy Minister Yao Frimpong told us a couple of weeks ago. Players in the agriculture sector are on a warpath with government over its policies and programs aimed at preventing an imminent food crisis. Farmers across the country have been lamenting lack of subsidized fertilizers and other inputs, coupled with devastating rains in the northern part of the country, which submerged farm fields and homes. Deputy Agric Minister Yao Frimpong told us early this month the ministry has instituted a ban on export of grains and other cereals as a means to prevent a full-blown crisis.
The little that we have here, we want to preserve so that within these hard times, the planting season every year has been hard times for this country all the time. And therefore, the ministry thought right. The ministry said, no, we should not allow these things to go because we may run into some difficulty. So in stopping the exportation of these food items, not all food items, but this particular food items, like the grains, just to save the situation.
But in the last few hours, the ministry has been making a U-turn on this decision.
It wasn't a ban. We are saying that we want to control the flow going outside. So anybody who wants to export, they should get a permit from this ministry before they can export. Without an export permit, you wouldn't be allowed to cross the border with your produce.
He has also been responding to food shortage concerns.
The marketing season is about to start. So the harvest has begun in some parts of the country, and we can see food prices going down very considerably in the last few days. It's going to continue, as I said 3 weeks ago, to a month, that definitely food prices seasonally are at the high, and that as soon as the harvest starts, the prices are coming down. Food prices are going to be cheap in the next 3-4 months.
For the farmer groups, the situation on the ground does not support the claims by the ministry that there is abundance of food in circulation in the country.
We are told that there's no food crisis. So why then the ban? It is an admission of the fact of what all along we've been saying, that there's no food available.
So you heard the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Curry, ending that report there. Joining me via Zoom is Anthony Morrison. He's the Executive Director of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. Thank you, Anthony, for joining us. I remember very well the day the Deputy Minister made this announcement on this particular show. You were on the line. Tell us about what the latest developments have been with respect to the Minister himself now backtracking and saying there's not been any ban in place at all.
Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherished viewers. Yes, the Chamber have been following the Minister's comments lately, and we've taken some concern about the fact that at a point the ministry officials say something, and the Minister coming back to say, no, that is not. So it's as if there is no proper coordination at the ministry. There is no proper communication mechanism, and there seems to be a ministry that the leadership is not actually flowing with the right information to the public. We do remember quite well that Meteorological Services Department projected that there were going to be some drought in the early planting season. There were. A recent interview with the minister, he vehemently denied that there was a drought. There was flood. He said there was no flood. We do remember at the vetting how the minister stated that some 1.8 million metric tons of rice, of maize was produced in 2016, and that the PFJ has helped to increase the metric ton of maize production in the country. But a fact check shows that no, that wasn't true. In fact, more maize were produced before 2016.
Okay.
And that only about 200 and something thousand metric tons were added as a result of the PFJ. So we think that there is some level of disparities in figures, in facts, and also probably there is some misalignment of leadership at the ministry.
Okay.
Let me tell you for a fact, I heard him saying that prices of food stuffs were going to come down.
Yes.
Just yesterday, our other partners, Isoko, picked up figures in Bolgatanga where beans, the prices of beans have shot up almost by 40%. And let me also say that we all come from traditional areas and we celebrate festivals. And the reason why we celebrate festivals is to pacify the gods and give thanksgiving to the gods. Major festivals have been celebrated already. That means that harvest has been done. We are not expecting any more harvest. Any other harvest that is coming in is not for the major season. It's for the minor season. And minor season harvest doesn't come at this time. So I don't know what the minister is talking about. We all go to the field. We all visit people. So we all visit the farms. We all visit all other sectors of the economy. So we need to be forthright. We shouldn't be massaging the figures. Prices of maize have jumped up from 68 Ghana cedis to 150 Ghana cedis. That is not a joke, and that is not going to come down anytime soon. We need to be very strategic and very pragmatic with food productivity in Ghana. Food security is a major issue. The country's food crises are going to be worse for the coming 2 seasons. I can tell you for a fact, the biggest urea production factory in China has been asked to cut down on production by the Chinese government. We have seen Yara closing down their major fertilizer factories in Europe and several other countries. This is the time to call for a major and a strategic stakeholder engagement towards a more transformative agriculture sector. However, you see, the missing link is that the most important ministry, which is the food ministry, is not a cabinet minister. That is a major concern. Decisions can be taken as to how our food security and other challenges can be sorted out.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Anthony Morrison. I'm sure this conversation will continue. We'll be getting back to you for a more extensive conversation and how the Ministry for Food and Agriculture must be dealing with this in the face of the issue of, inadequate fertilizers to farmers and the droughts and the floods that have taken over some of the farm fields across the country. Anthony Morrison is the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness joining us. You're also watching Midday Live with me, Komla Adum. Now, the National Labour Commission has directed the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, CCT, to suspend their intended strike. The three teacher unions raised issues about non-payment of transfer grant, increase in contact hours of teachers, and non-payment of the COVID funds promised teachers at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Musa Tankut, spoke to our Labour correspondent.
Today was the deadline we gave regarding the issues we raised on the 10th of August, and we still want them to know that we are currently before the Labour Commission, and we are all looking at the output or what comes out of the processes, and that will determine the way forward. The deadline given us, we were given up to November, the middle of the second week of November to get it done. Okay, so once we have been given, the Labour Commission has given us the second week of November to conclude all the issues and report same to them. That is what it takes now. So once we are before the Commission, it is our hope and expectations, and that come the date given by the Labour Commission, we will have been able to resolve all the issues and report same to the Commission, and thereafter we'll communicate same to our members.
Now, the head of local government service, Engineer Dr. Atuatha, has waded into the debate to revisit the election of MMDC, saying there is a solution to curbing conflicts and disturbances which arise each time they are nominated by the president. Speaking to my colleague Della Michelle, he insisted that partisan elections of these MMDCs reduce the winner takes all and other fosters development in area.
Where we were to go for the referendum on Article 55.3, for us to have MMDCs elected on partisan basis, that is my pain, my worry. I am all for election of MMDCs. It will stop most of these conversations that we're having today, or possibly reduce some of the ills that we are witnessing today regarding they call it corrupt practices. With elections going on today in all these assemblies, the assemblies that we say is non-partisan, today go to every assembly. Particularly, it becomes very clear with the confirmation of MMDCs, the number of MPP assembly members in the assembly, the number of NDC assembly members in the assembly is so glaring. Who says the assembly is not partisan? Talk about downward accountability. Today, if I'm a DCE appointed by President Akufo-Addo, confirmed, I will sit in Commanded Negua for my backyard, and feel that I don't owe anything much to the good people of Commanded Negua for But if I were elected by the good people of Commanded Negua for it becomes clear to me that I owe them some level of accountability. I'm accountable to them downwardly rather than upward accountability to the one who appointed me. It will definitely lead to much development at that level.
Let's do one of the headline stories this afternoon, and we'll be crossing over to the Savannah region, where we understand the young man who is a teacher involved in allegedly sodomizing 19 pupils in a school in the Salaga East District has been put before court, and my colleague Christopher is joining me for the latest. Christopher, what's been developing in the last few minutes?
Yes, so as we speak, the suspect has been remanded into police custody and is set to reappear on the 13th of October 2021.
And do we know, as we speak now that he's been charged with anything at all?
Hello, Komla.
Do we know whether he's been charged yet?
Not yet. It's yet to be charged, but professionally, the police are charging him for defilement and unnatural carnal knowledge. That is what the police say they will be charging him for. But that will be until the medical examination is conducted on the victims, so that when the report is submitted to the police, they can go ahead to charge the suspect. But as we speak, the suspect has not been charged, but provisionally the police are thinking of charging him on defilement and unnatural carnal knowledge.
And by what you say to me right now, is it my understanding that the victims still, as we speak, do not have medical attention? I think we've lost Christopher Amako there. He was giving us updates. The teacher in the center of this particular controversy has been remanded to reappear on October 13. And provisionally, he tells us that the police are preparing some charges of unnatural carnal knowledge and rape and abuse. We're watching Midday Live here with me, Komladum. Let's do some COVID stories, because COVID-19 vaccinations will soon be extended to cover children and pregnant women as part of efforts to fight against the pandemic. This, according to the Presidential Advisor on Health, follows the emergence of new and more contagious strains. Dr. Insian Sari disclosed this at the 9th Biennial Scientific Conference of the College of Health Sciences at KNUST.
Despite a substantial progress made in the fight against the virus, health authorities say the battle is far from over. The recent resurgence in COVID-19 cases has been blamed on increasing disregard to the safety protocols. Speaking at the 9th Biennial Scientific Conference, Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasari, said government is prioritizing vaccination to achieve immunity and minimize transmission.
The government is committed to obtaining sufficient vaccines in order to make vaccines a national public good that is available to all citizens. Even though the government's ultimate goal is to vaccinate the entire population, the initial target is to vaccinate 20 million persons, which have been segmented by population groups and geography, excluding children under 18 years and pregnant women. As additional safety data becomes available, ladies and gentlemen, the vaccination will be expanded to cover children and pregnant people.
1.6 million vaccine doses have so far been administered. Dr. Nsiasari hinted of additional 18.7 million doses expected in the country by the end of the year. The Pro-Vice Chancellor of KNUST, Professor Eliso Usudabo, expressed readiness of the university in assisting government-produced COVID-19 vaccines in the country.
KNUST management has been contacted to submit a budget, which we've done. We have responded by indicating our readiness, our availability of our facilities, relevant human resource and expertise, and other requirements towards this endeavor.
Staff of the Department of Pharmacology, in collaboration with the School of Public Health, have developed a polyherbal preparation for the management of the disease, and is now undergoing various testing and approval processes at the Food and Drugs Authority.
The two-day scientific conference brought together health professionals to discuss the challenges posed to the country's health system by COVID-19 and utilize lessons learned to address possible future pandemic. It was themed COVID-19, a health challenge for the decade, the role of health professionals.
So watching Midday Live here on TV3 with me, Komlado. My colleague, Josh Koenig, has the latest from the world of business if you stay with us.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat2, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look Right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Concerned about your family's safety at your home or business? Worry no more. Get more. For any window or door, get more. For unique custom-made solutions, get more. Call TRELLIDOR 0561 24 24 24. TRELLIDOR, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
As young girls, we had dreams. Dreams to be a star, dreams to stand tall amongst our peers, and dreams to be Ghana's most beautiful.
Here we are as young girls, evolved into ladies and serving as role models to many.
It has been a long journey, from the audition stages through to the live performances and eviction shows.
We must say, it's been such an experience. From the low moments and the high moments, we have enjoyed every bit of this learning curve.
From 16 down to 6 of us, the time for one of us to wear that prestigious crown is here, and we are super excited.
It is the grand finale of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2021, the most anticipated finale, and I can say that the ladies and I are super ready.
Yes, they are 6 beautiful, confident and smart ladies poised and ready for this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful finale. Come see your ladies battle it out for the crown, the car and a life of luxury and fame. Join us at the National Theatre of Ghana on the 3rd of October 2021 at 8 p.m. sharp. Tickets are going for 50 Ghana cedis. It's an all-ladies affair as we have 4 of Ghana's songbirds, Abiana, Sina Soul, Sefa, and Adina. Don't miss this spectacular night with amazing music and dazzling performances from our final 6 ladies. Push your favorite to be crowned by dialing *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app on Google Play Store or Apple Store now and vote. Ghana's Most Beautiful.
Rediscovering true beauty.
Grab your tickets now at the front desk of TV3, Bachona Total, Airport Shell, Silverbird Accra Mall, and Kuala Osu.
And is sponsored by Lavon's Tomato Mix, Camel now from Kerex, Freedom from Casaprecum, GTP, Darling Lemon Drink, Airtel Tigo's Big Time Bundles, Lufat, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Spray and Coil, and Napa Mackerel,
Geisha, Close Up,
Ayo Insurance, Fun Milk Nutri Day Yogurt, and supported by
Mekaniju be eshe gamade
Tamwa paya
Tamidio Tamiji
Ninyi na nfantinye de time aso Connect FM Western Trade Fair Ekwetifu wone bronya Kwesi ma meroba onye buhie ne nyinara Akwa na so hie na ye wona ofasefo ne nyinara background so ho na wo hwe menyu nyinara kobidodo ebe say yantazupa ye boye nenwom ono ye for future business Connect FM Western Trade Fair Ekwetifu wone bronya 29 September 16 October Waterpademo nenyim azatomfo na dwumoku ne nyinara roba let's say live on the Tatema Friday tickets Sunday the Friday rapirona or your fashion show no me dey we abroad yes one mama from no kwan or your connect kiddy bash the consider we abroad yes a playing card championship na team Connect FM Western Trade Fair what's your friend book who stand 0244 244 027 and 0545 572 856 Connect FM Western Trade Fair and what for get the more MTN Momo yes Momo 8 na what from calling in ara Connect FM Western Trade Fair good to fool and
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Time now for the latest in the world of business. My colleague George Quinning is joining me. George, the blue economy.
Exactly, the blue economy. You know,
Some of the major challenges between the blue economy are pirate attacks and crew change challenges. Okay. But on this very day, what seafarers are calling is that they want crew change challenges, resolved. So that and fuel price, the cedi depreciation that has affected, the increment in fuel price, that and others coming up this afternoon.
Okay. All right. Take it away.
Business is up next here on Midday Live. My name is Josh Quinn. We are live on DSTV channel 279. On to our very first story, 80% of global trade is transported by ships, and more than 1 million seafarers play a critical role in delivering cargo to various destinations to keep world trade fluid. Despite the pandemic affecting crew change for seafarers, many have kept on. As the world marks the Global Maritime Day today, seafarers want crew change challenges resolved to allow them to operate freely.
The COVID-19 pandemic has created an unprecedented crew change crisis, which has led to hundreds of seafarers being impacted. Some were left stranded on ships beyond expiring of their contracts. Failure to properly address the crew change crisis put the seafarers who are key in supporting global trade in a very precarious situation. In marking the World Maritime Day, Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, Kitang Lim, called for a concerted effort to get many port nations resolve the cabotage law.
We all must do better to support our brave professionals who continue to deliver global trade. The dedication and professionalism of more than 1.5 million seafarers worldwide deserve our great admiration and gratitude.
The day seeks to increase the visibility of seafarers by drawing attention to the invaluable role they play and continue to play in the future. This year's theme, Seafarers are the core of shipping's future.
Well, away from that, filing of tax returns online has improved revenue collection over the past few months since the Ghana Revenue Authority began a robust tax reform and digital strategy initiative of using online platforms to pay taxes on July 1. And Deputy Commissioner in charge of tax transformation, Valerie Ennison, said other processes are underway to streamline and make the online service effective to improve tax compliance.
Because we are not accepting any cash and everything has to go through the banks, even the checks have to go through the banks, we don't have the problem of dishonored checks anymore, because you either have to go to your bank, or even if it's through third party, you still have to pay it through the bank. So it's almost 100% reduction in dishonored checks. Additionally, the traffic in the offices have also reduced because people don't have to come all the way to the office to make payments. So we are going to be strengthening our online filing. But once the filing is in effect, you can also file, and then the payments will be linked to your file, your return that you've submitted. Also, going forward with more digitization and analysis of our data, we'll be able to pre-populate returns so that we'll have the information of what you filed already.
Away from revenue mobilization, let's hit the labor front, because the Ghana Federation of Labour wants government, as a matter of urgency, to convene a joint negotiation committee meeting with leadership of organized labour for an upward review of the 4% pay rise. This, according to the Deputy Secretary General, Kenneth Kumsin, would avert further labour agitations in the country. He spoke to my colleague Josephine Entreje.
Percent adjustment that was made, legally speaking, was an outcome between the parties, appears to be woefully inadequate, and we've seen the agitation that's cut across the country. It then places an obligation, a moral obligation, not a legal obligation, for the parties to reconvene, considering that the outcome is considered unconscionable. In other words, it falls way below the expectation of the other party. The strategy of GFL is to engage government to reconsider the 4% and possibly to engage the stakeholders to ensure a review in order to protect the incomes and also guarantee the safety of the employees as far as their conditions are concerned.
Well, I'm sure you'd want to know the current state of the local cedi that's trading among other major currencies. But there's a new development to that. Business is slow and traders are attributing this to the depreciation value of the local currency. At 6 cedis, 16 pesos to $1, coupled with the impact of COVID-19, car dealers, second-hand clothes and general goods dealers are unable to turn around their invested funds on time. Emmanuel Samani has been looking at the impact of the Ghana cedi's depreciation against the dollar.
The city's relative stability since the beginning of the year has been partly attributed to the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana to keep the policy rate at 14.5% for more than a year. However, at 6 cedis 15 pesos to $1, the rate of depreciation, though relatively slow, is having an impact on the business environment.
As I was just clearing the goods from the port, I was paying some charges in which the charges were so high to the extent that the previous charges I paid for the goods that I took, I didn't pay that amount. The cedi is also depreciating. It's not helping us.
It affects my business in a way that, you know, if the dollar is moving very fast and the dollar goes up very fast, it affects our business in a way because you need to increase your goods in that very manner. But if the business is slow, the dollar rate is also slow. That's how it goes.
Those in the automobile retail business, the Recreational Vehicle Inspected Index, which measures used car wholesale prices, has increased by 54% since last year. Government is, however, hopeful of a rebound.
The city is set to end 2021 with the lowest depreciation rate in almost 3 decades. The anticipation counts on the back of an impressive cumulative year-to-date depreciation rate of 1.7% against the greenback, as noted by the central bank.
The monetary policy report from the Bank of Ghana indicates improved performances in some key sectors of the economy, while other sectors are yet to recover from the effects of COVID-19.
We'll be updating you on the performance of the cedi in our subsequent bulletins. But that's how we end business this afternoon. Remember, you can get more news updates when you log on to our website, is 3news.com. Right after the break, we have sport with Kevin Oswansa. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
Beautiful and intelligent women. 6 have made it to the ultimate grand finale of GMB 2021. Who will be crowned Ghana's most beautiful queen 2021? Sunday, 3rd October. Is it Safwa, Manu, Akosia, Mfojo, Settle, Wedaga. Vote for your favorite via short code *713*13# GMB, rediscovering true beauty.
And is sponsored by Lavon's Tomato Mix, Camel now from Kerex, Freedom from Casaprecum, GTP, Darling Lemon Drink, Airtel Tigo's Big Time Bundles, Lufat, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Spray and Coil, and Napa Mackerel,
Geisha, Close Up,
Ayo Insurance, Fun Milk Nutri-Day Yogurt, and supported by
Charlie, I know you've been to other parties and you've had all the cakes, you've done the fufu just like myself, eating banku and all of that. Christmas is approaching, but we need to shred off some weight. We need to lose some weight. We need to go to the gym, and it's an opportunity for you and I to lose weight before December. Now, it's the Prudential Life 3FM Fat to Fit Challenge. Charlie, I dey go some.
The date is the 2nd of October to the 27th of November 2021.
It's just 60 days challenge. You for join me. If you only 150 cities pay. If you come, we go lose weight the right way. How about that? Come register with us on this WhatsApp number. Let's go lose some weight the right way.
It's Saturday morning, and this is a good time to catch up on all you've missed out on during your busy week. That is why every Saturday morning at 7 a.m., we take the time to delve into the key points to ensure you are adequately informed as a citizen. We break down the week's biggest stories with the right personalities. We ask the tough questions. We bring you the biggest interviews. We analyze the key issues and allow you to contribute to the discourse. Our job is to ensure that you are part and parcel of nation building. If it matters to you, you will get it here first. Join me, Jifa Bampo, each Saturday at 7 a.m. for the Key Points. Key Points, never miss a key moment.
The Key Points shows live every Saturday at 7 a.m. on TV3.
It's about to get more sporty with a touch of super entertainment with your favorite stars.
And we play the Pittingate, the Chaskele, the football.
Who should I take? Sonny Cruz? Why?
While keeping you up to date with every trending issue in your world of sports on Warmer Plus.
But in comes Thomas Tuchel and everything changes.
And when he said he wants to be better than me, I was happy.
Let's keep it more sporty and super entertaining every Saturday on Warmer Plus, right here on TV3.
Good afternoon, and let's have some sports on MiddayLive. My name is Kelvin Owuswanta. Well, from the Ghana Premier League, and 14 Premier League clubs have had their main venues conditionally rejected by the Club Licensing Committee of the Ghana Football Association ahead of the 2021-2022 season. Wafa Park, Aliu Mahama Stadium in Tamale, Cape Coast Stadium, and the Langley Stadium at Obuasi are the only venues that have been granted conditional approval with 4 weeks to begin the new season. Correction of defects at stadiums can ensure reversal of the conditional licenses rejection to ensure an approval for the venues to be used for the Premier League. Sports Stadium and the Accra Sports Stadium are among 10 venues that have failed to meet the club licensing conditions to merit approval for the upcoming season. Clubs who are requested to use these facilities will need to finalize every detailed work to be issued a license before the season begins, with a final inspection date set for October 18. Communications Director for the Ghana Football Association, Henry Asantichum, says there is ample time for clubs to complete works to be guaranteed playing at their preferred grounds.
In terms of club licensing, I think a lot has been done in the last few weeks. In the coming days, they will submit their report. They will look at all the considerations, and hopefully they will start issuing out licenses to the clubs.
The present situation that may deprive clubs from having their favored grounds rejected due to club licensing may be stringent from next season. Henry reveals other club licensing requirements that clubs need to fulfill will come to full effect to meet CAF standards from next season.
One of the things we also want to introduce is youth teams. All the teams have been told to either adopt a youth team or form one of their own. That is also going to be enforced this season, because from next season it becomes compulsory. They must also have female teams attached to their clubs. From next season it will be fully enforced, and it becomes compulsory per FIFA and CAF standard.
Keeping tabs on Ghanaian players outside the shores of the country, and captain Jonathan Mensah scored as MLS champions Columbus Crew beat Mexican champions Cruz Azul
Amanite Kyekufo, and in entertainment this afternoon, Ghana over the years has become a second home to many top Nigerian stars, and adding to the list is Nigerian singer and songwriter Joe Boy, who disclosed in an interview on New Day with Ms. G that he often comes to Ghana. He also refuted claims that there's a huge competition between Ghana and Nigeria, but rather we are all one.
A collaboration with Black Sheriff.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's about Black Sheriff? I know he's the greatest sensation we have around now, but what's for you it's about Black Sheriff?
Okay, for me it's the passion in his voice. Like before then, like when I listened to the song, I didn't even know what he was talking about. But I was just like, this thing sounds like because of the way he was like
the emotions with which,
within the song. So I kind of related to his energy and his passion, and I feel like he's really, really talented. And I like the sound he's making. It sounds different. Yeah.
Sound is very different indeed. Have you reached out to him or any of his team yet?
Spoken once or twice. So maybe before I leave Ghana, we should link. Yeah.
Oh, really? It's that quick and that soon?
Yeah.
What's that song going to sound like? Considering the kind of music you do and the kind of music that Black Sheriff has shown us that he does, what kind of sound are we going to expect? Are we going to see you in a Black Sheriff shoe, or are you going to get him to be in your shoes? Or what kind of song?
I think we'll just go with the flow. Like when I'm making music, I don't like project expectations. I just like when I'm in the studio, anything that comes. Yeah. It's easier for me to create that without like putting myself in a box. Yeah.
Do you
So that was a conversation on he having a collaboration with Black Sheriff. But now let's go back to our earlier story where he made mention of how often he comes to Ghana and how Ghana is his second home. And also there's no competition between Ghanaians and Nigerians.
We have a feeling here in Ghana that our biggest competition in this space, the creative space, is Nigeria. I get the feeling also that Nigeria thinks that the biggest competition they have is South Africa. And I don't get competition.
I don't think it should even be about competition. I think it's the fact that we're all Africans, we are one, and we are championing like the African sound. And it's just so beautiful to see like from Ghana, South Africa to Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, like we all have like amazing artists, and the good thing is that everybody's like connecting, everybody's networking. We're not thinking, no, I'm not talking to you because you're not from my country. Yeah, so it's beautiful that we're actually like moving as one, and the world is recognizing our sound. Yeah.
Ghanaians get a little worried. From where I sit, that's what I think, that we don't get to enter your space as much as you get to enter our space.
Well, I feel like Ghanaian artists are welcome to come through. Like the way Nigerians are, we like to see people. Like, so come and do media tours, come and do radio tours.
Is it open like that to us?
It's
really?
Open, yes.
Because we keep hearing that there's a policy that you need to play more Niger songs and.
I don't think there's a policy as long as like the artists like come through, like the way I am here now, I'm having interviews and stuff, like come through too, like, and it's going to be open. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and we should I think Nigerian and Ghanaian artists should work together more too.
We should do more collaborations.
That's going to like bridge the connection. Yeah.
And away from that, Afrobeat heavyweight artist Davido has made his first appearance on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. He disclosed that Nigerians in diaspora made Nigerian music gain more popularity.
Take over the world won't take over our music. What do you think it is about Nigeria that made that possible?
I want to first of all give a shout out to all the Nigerians in the diaspora. When I say that, I mean like the Africans that are not in Nigeria, the ones that in America, the ones that in Europe, the ones that in London.
I bumped into Nigerians in Russia.
Anybody in the world, I knocked this table. I'm probably the person that knocked this table. Everybody in the world has a Nigerian friend.
Definitely.
Whichever way it is. So I think like even like in Atlanta, like with my music, personally, it kind of started from like Atlanta, New York. It started from like Nigerians even being in the club and telling the DJs like, yo, I want to spend $50,000 today, but play Davido's music when my bottles are coming out.
And that's it for entertainment. I'm Anita Ekufu. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Anita Ikuekufu, there with the latest from the world of entertainment. Time now to find out the latest news making headlines beyond our borders.
The World Health Organization has said only 14 out of Africa's 54 countries have met the global target of vaccinating more than 10% of their populations against coronavirus by the end of September. That's largely because COVAX, the mechanism set up to distribute vaccine doses to poor nations, has not been able to get enough doses. Seychelles, Mauritius and Morocco have achieved the highest vaccination rates, all above 40%. The WHO attributes this to their robust vaccination programs as well as the size of the countries and their populations. Others which have met the target are Tunisia, Eswatini, Cape Verde, Botswana, Comoros, Zimbabwe, Equatorial Guinea, South Africa, Mauritania, Lesotho and Rwanda.
On that note, we end Midday Live here on TV3. Came to you live from a news hub. There's a lot more stories if you log on to 3news.com. I appreciate that you could join me this afternoon. Keep watching TV3.